It's been a long time. A long, long time. 5 years ago, I made a video about Michael Bay, Optimus Prime, and how I felt Optimus killed too indiscriminately to be considered a hero. And most of you gave great positive comments, but some of you gave me this. How dare you question Optimus Prime's integrity and sanity, so he deserved Optimus has every right never to go to the many, a huge step, but he
That escalated quickly.
On what was supposed to be a very lighthearted video, I got quite a few bloodthirsty comments. But all of this has kinda got me thinking. Maybe there's a deeper connection here between Optimus Prime and popular violence that I never realized. Maybe Optimus is a sort of reflection on our shifting opinions about violence. I know, this sounds like a crock of shit, but hear me out here. There is an undeniable shift in Optimus's behavior from the 1980s until sometime in the late 2000s. It should not come as a surprise that American public opinion about war also split around the same time. Specifically, the social relevance of the Geneva Conventions were hotly debated. The conventions, ratified at the end of the Second World War, established the basis for international law regarding ethical conduct in war. Both soldiers and civilians alike were to be protected against murder, torture, and all other abuses. Armed forces who have laid down their arms, and those hors de combat, by sickness, wounds, detention, or any other cause, shall in all circumstances be treated humanely. Don't get me wrong, the United States has committed more than its fair share of war crimes. But since the 2000s, some distasteful practices have become widely accepted.
Unlawful combatants do not have any rights under the Geneva Convention.
Older incarnations of Optimus portray him as good-natured, steadfast in his ideals, and if someone is wounded or unarmed, he shows mercy, even to a villain like Megatron.
No more, Optimus Prime! Grant me mercy, I beg of you!
You, who are without mercy, now plead for it?
You have to admit we really went at it, huh? I've enjoyed every nanosecond of it, Optimus.
Sorry, but I could never admit to enjoying the battle. However, it was a necessary evil to obtain peace.
What are you waiting for, Autobot? Finish me.
That would be the easy way out, Megatron. You don't deserve it.
Heroes don't kill unarmed people. They just don't. The new Optimus, however, takes a more pragmatic approach when killing his opponents. And this ranges from the slightly excessive to the, this dude just straight up executes people.
No, Optimus!
Any last words?
Ow! You shot me, you a-hole!
And we can't say that these are accidents. There are multiple incidences where he straight up shouts out his intentions. He's a very shouty Optimus. Shouty.
I'll kill you! You die! Kill you! Die! Kill you! Die! Kill them all!
Asking whether this is justified or not is somewhat subjective. What we should be asking is, why did Optimus change? And why are so many of you gung-ho to defend war crimes? I'm just saying.
My resolution? Airstrike. Bomb them. Bomb them. Keep bombing them. Bomb them again and again.
Opinions about violence, both for Optimus Prime and the American public, significantly changed in the late 2000s. The global war on terror certainly led to this major shift of opinion. The 2000s were plagued with debates about unconventional warfare and the legal status of prisoners of war.
Been denied prisoner of war status by the US government.
Abusing and humiliating Iraqi prisoners.
Open fire on a line of cars at a...
In 2006, with public opinion souring over the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, 57% of Americans supported the continued recognition of the Geneva Conventions. By the close of the decade, however, public support plummeted. By 2016, less than 30% agreed with the conventions. A majority of Americans even found it acceptable to target populated areas and medical staff if that meant harming the enemy. Most even supported giving amnesty to individuals who committed war crimes overseas.
I taste metal, I taste blood.
And it really should come as no surprise that the comments that I got on my previous video were fairly close to that of policymakers and public figures at the time. So if US citizens in the late 2000s wanted a more violent Optimus, Michael Bay would be the obvious choice to tap into this market.
It epitomizes American culture and epitomizes what we're all about.
At the start of the Transformers series, Michael Bay already had an established reputation for over-the-top patriotic films like Armageddon and Pearl Harbor.
Genius.
The prevalence of desert battle scenes, the not-so-subtle passes at certain presidential administrations, the inclusion of political pundits, all of this can be interpreted as a sort of neocon critique of the direction of US foreign wars in the late 2000s. They had a more aggressive foreign policy.
They're nothing but a bunch of cold-blooded killers, and that's the way we're going to treat them.
In 2013, Bay responded to political criticisms of his films by stating, "Yes, I am a political person, and I have my views about America. I'm very proud of my country. Obviously, it's going through a lot of turmoil, and we have a very ineffectual government." In this way, it's plain to see why the films frequently lampoon government bureaucracy and their attempts to regulate the Transformers. Negotiations with Decepticons are portrayed as either dangerous or downright idiotic, thus explaining why Optimus chooses to kill Megatron at the end of Dark of the Moon rather than negotiate a truce, like he did at the end of the friggin' novel.
Oh, poop.
It's a shame he wasn't more headstrong.
Now, this doesn't mean that you can't like Michael Bay's Transformers. You can like whatever you want. This also doesn't mean that G1 in the 1980s weren't violent. Like, have you seen Transformers the movie? That shit's got some nightmare fuel, my dude. All I am saying is, the heroic deeds of Optimus Prime are simply reflections of our morals. And of course, those things change over time. How could they not? Before we end, I want to leave you with a little story. Back in 2014, I actually went to go see Age of Extinction. I'm nestled in with my popcorn, ready to watch this dumpster fire. But every time someone gets a chagrin on the big screen, this dude next to me just blurts out,
"Yeah, that's what you get."
As I think back on this moment and reflect, and really think about this dude's bloodthirsty calls for revenge from a shape-shifting truckman, it sort of gets me thinking, what does Optimus say about us? Do the ends always justify the means? And if they do, what makes us different than the villains we are supposed to fight against? Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to drop a comment below telling me what you think about the new Optimus. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the link in the description for ways to support the channel. Anything you can do is greatly appreciated. I will be eternally thankful. And that's all I wrote. So, until next time.